Opposition to the franchise for women was basically woven into American society. Arguments against women's suffrage came in every imaginable stripe, and both women and men rallied against it. Religious arguments suggested that women were to be obedient and subservient to their husbands, so women voting would subvert biblical order. Many businesses were opposed to women's suffrage, believing that women would clean up corruption and be a threat to the backslapping, underhanded patronage that defined Gilded Age politics and business, usually to the detriment of the people. And of course, women's suffrage would mean black women's suffrage, a possibility many, particularly in the South, were dead set against. Interestingly, though, sometimes pro-suffrage groups also sunk into the mud when it came to race, suggesting that white women's votes could be used to neutralize African American votes, in addition to the mechanisms that were already in place. All of these arguments, and of course many more, were on display in Nashville, Tennessee in August of 1920. After years of opposition, Woodrow Wilson came out in favor of suffrage in the face of the National Women's Party that had been incessantly picketing the White House and the undeniable contributions of American women to the war effort in World War I. As per the Constitution, Congress has to first pass the amendment with 2/3 majority, which it did in 1919. Then states all over the nation took up the debate on women's suffrage. After 35 states had ratified the amendment, there were very few remaining that were even willing to debate it. Unlike most southern states, there was enough interest in Tennessee to warrant a session, and people from all over the nation turned their attention to the volunteer state. In the weeks leading up to the vote, the Hermitage Hotel just across from the Capitol in Nashville became a swirling frenzy of competing interests during this War of the Roses, named for the yellow roses worn by suffragists and red roses worn by antis. There were representatives from both national suffrage groups, the moderate NASA and the more radical National Women's Party, plus a cadre of anti-suffragists, and even a so-called Jack Daniels suite popped up in the Hermitage Hotel, during Prohibition, mind you, designed to ply legislators with drink and sway them to vote no. All of these people boxed in together in the sweltering summer heat. On August 19th, after weeks of horse trading and persuading, the Tennessee Senate passed the resolution with a large majority, but the House was the tougher nut. Based on their counts, suffragists did not have the votes. The red anti-roses outnumbered the yellow roses on the floor. But a few minds had changed, and finally, the youngest representative in the Tennessee legislature, at only 24 years old, Harry Byrne, cast the deciding vote in favor of ratification. In his pocket, he carried a letter from his mother, Phoebe, imploring him to, quote, be a good boy and vote for suffrage. By only one vote, the motion was carried, and Tennessee became the perfect 36, the last state needed to bring the vote to all American women. The 19th Amendment states simply, the rights of citizens of the United States to vote shall not be denied or abridged by the United States or by any state on account of sex. But notice, just as the 15th Amendment, the language does not address other voting requirements that might still exist, such as property requirements and poll taxes and literacy tests. These barriers persisted for Black women and men until the Civil Rights Act movement of the 1960s. That's all right. All right.